Con. Can't tell you how excited we are to be back. I am currently bound in today as the great god of mischief, Loki, or in my case, I'm the mum of mischief. Anyway, follow along with us today. We're off to meet Tom Hiddleston and Sophia Di Martina. I'm not sure if I'll be allowed to film, but if I can, I will film as much as I can while we're in there. See you later. Very excited. We're waiting in the queue to meet the god of mischief, Loki, Tom Hiddleston. I don't know if we'll be able to film in there, but we'll tell you all about it afterwards. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to film while we were in there, but we'll try and insert the picture into the clip now. He was just as we expected, absolute gent, really nice. Unfortunately we didn't have very long to talk to him, and we're now off to meet Sophia Di Martina, aka female Loki. Unfortunately we weren't also able to film with Sophia Di Martina, but we did manage to get an autograph of one of our pops.
Make sure to make a new friend, because everyone in this room is a little weird. We're all a little different, and that's awesome. So seriously, talk about those fan theories that you can't talk with anybody at your normal job about right here. We can do that here, because there's something wrong with all of us. So seriously, make some new friends this weekend. Talk to people. Just don't talk to them in the bathroom, that's weird. Anywhere else is fine. Like if you see someone sitting alone, walk over and say hi. That's what this is all about. Can you all do that for me? All y'all my friends, which means I got a place to stay when I come next time. Because I don't know if you know, that exchange rate does not work out in my favor. It's like the pay double for everything here. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? Then do me a favor. Make some noise for your moderator. Give it up for Claire Liu!
Here, it's been so wonderful that after 2 years I get to be in amongst you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Cheers. Now, please welcome on stage. Cameras up. Mr. Tom Hiddleston! I think I burst in your drum.
I love you, Tom!
Good afternoon. How are you? What was that?
Guys, thank you so much for being here this weekend. I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be back in amongst all of the fans, Tom?
It feels absolutely fantastic. It's so nice to see you all. It's been so long, and we make these stories for you, and we know how much they mean to you, and for so many different reasons. So it's lovely to be back.
And Sophia, is this your first Comic Con?
Yes, it is. I don't think I've seen so many people in my life.
How have you been then? Like, what were your first thoughts when you walked in today?
Into this room? Well, just like, wow. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful to see so many people in one room. I'm just glad that we can finally do this.
I know.
And safely, and nice to see you all.
Yeah. Jonathan, like often, you guys go away and you film, you do your thing, and you don't actually, and you might read things online, but you don't get to actually feel the reaction. What is it like feeling the reaction from the fans as opposed to just reading it online?
This is wild. All these beautiful people. I mean, holy smokes, hello. It's the ride of my life so far.
I'm glad to hear it. I wanted to ask in terms of online comments, because now we very much live our lives online. People like to give their tuppence worth of what they like and what they don't like. Do you guys read comments and things online? Tom, do you read a lot of that, or do you try and ignore it?
I don't read it, but some of the funniest ones are read to me. There was such a terrific and varied response to Loki when it came out this summer. Some of the memes and the GIFs that I saw they really made me laugh, so yeah, keep them coming.
Just amazing, the hours people put into creating this stuff, and it's quite overwhelming sometimes, but I'm just pleased that people love the show and the characters, and we get to see how much you love it. It means a lot.
Well, it was a blooming brilliant show, and I think all three of you did excellently. It was really brilliant. Tom, you've been playing Loki for a rather long time now. Coming to this, your own television show, what did you want to bring to the character that was a bit different? Did you approach it in a different way this time as an actor? Sorry, it's all fun and games now, serious question, here we go.
I always have enjoyed playing Loki. He's such a complex character with so many complexities and contradictions. And the longer I've played him, I feel an increasing responsibility to deliver the character that everybody loves, but also a curiosity about finding new facets every time. And the most thrilling aspect was actually taking Loki away from everything that was familiar to him. Taking him away from Asgard, taking him away from his family and his brother and his father and his mother, and challenging him profoundly with the TVA and with his own story, and with many different aspects of himself. And I found that a really terrific starting point. And as you now know, and what a relief it is to be able to share it with you, I was joined on this Loki journey by many other Lokis who could share in the delights of wearing horns and leather, gold leather, and everything else. Even the alligator. It's very much a family ride.
Have you had, Tom, a favourite moment playing the character, not just in the series, but just over time? Was there a moment that stood out to you that you loved?
I don't know that I could pick a favourite moment of playing the character. I definitely had moments which have become cornerstones for the character, for the characterization. I can name a few. One was in the very first Thor movie, directed by Kenneth Branagh, when Loki found out the truth of his lineage for the first time, a scene I played with Anthony Hopkins. It was a pleasure to play that scene, and became a kind of emotional anchor for the character. I remember standing on Stark Tower and staring out at the destruction of New York and playing a scene with Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers. That was very memorable. I see a Get Help in Ragnarok it comes around a lot. And obviously that moment in Infinity War, but recently there were just so many moments in Loki with Sophia and with Jonathan and everybody in the cast, with Owen Wilson, absent friend here today. I'm sure he would love to be here. They're particularly surreal in episode 5 of Loki standing in a room and every other cast member, and there were about 25, was dressed as Loki. And I thought, this job has changed from what it used to be. Many memorable moments.
Good. My next question is for Sophia and Jonathan. Sophia, first, were you a big fan of the MCU before you joined this incredible family? And what was it like for both of you getting that call, Sophia?
I mean, I'd seen some of the movies, but I wasn't like a huge fan, if I'm honest. I'd enjoyed them, but I wasn't, I'd never been to Comic Con or, gotten dressed up. Because Tom was in New York and I was here in London. And then, they told me I had the job. I think I just had to take some deep breaths and try not to go into labour. A bit like today, really. I've had a word, it's going to stay.
I gave some Loki lectures.
Oh. Okay.
I was asked by Kate Herron, who I wish were here today. Maybe she is. Kate Herron, are you in the
audience? Are you out there?
Kate, our extraordinary director, asked me to assemble the heads of department. So this is the production designer, stunt coordinator, head of hair and makeup, costume designer, cinematographer. I should mention them all: Kazra Farahani, Autumn Durald, Christine Weiler, all these extraordinary practitioners who built the world of our show. And as you now will understand, there were lots of questions about Loki. What makes Loki Loki? And as you can see, why that question was relevant, because we were going to sort of dig into that with the idea of variants: classic Loki, kid Loki, boastful Loki, alligator Loki, President Loki, and of course Sylvie. And so they were I was, as it were, drawing a little map of the territory I had investigated and also the territory I hadn't. And so I think in that respect we talked about how the way he looked and comic book inspirations from different comic book artists and writers, and practically things that I had been that I had the experience of going through, wearing costumes that you could do a somersault in and also eat your lunch in. And capes and horns and magic and all that kind of stuff. But then,
I love these Loki lessons. I want a Loki lesson as well. Anyone up for a Loki lesson?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of fun. Did you delve into Lady Loki and the lore and the history and everything behind that, or did you go in with a fresh head, Sophia?
I went with a fresh head, really, and just approached the character as it had been written in the script. And because, she's kind of a mashup of a few different characters, and she's a new character, really. So I didn't want to do an impression of Tom, because that would be really bad.
I know.
But we definitely had a conversation about when we were fighting. Our fighting styles are very different, Loki and Sylvie's fighting styles. But we did try and mirror each other occasionally. Things like when we're walking up to meet you in the big scary house. We tried to sort of walk in unison, didn't we? And, just sort of mirror each other occasionally. So,
We wanted it to look really elegant and graceful, and then occasionally one of us would lead with the right and the other would maybe sort of go, sorry, just go back, let's go back.
We'd pull the same fighting stance and then kind of be annoyed by it, that kind of
Love
relationship.
Well, I thought you were amazing, Sophia. She was so good, right? good. Tell you who else was very good. Jonathan, oh my god, let's talk about He Who Remains. So much charisma to the role. I thought your scenes were really captivating, really incredible. When you got the script, what were your initial impressions? Did you completely go, this is how I want to play it? Or did you feel your way into it?
I felt, God, I hope I can memorize all this. And then I thought, who are my scene partners? Okay, I feel safe there. And then I thought, things move at a certain pace, you know, and I thought, well, this has gotta be at the speed of escape, right? There's speed of fun, there's speed of fight, you know, this is like the speed of escape. You know, this guy is in some way trying to, you know, get a deal done, you know, and that was the speed. And so I thought there's all this time that he's been around, there's all these wonderful things, you know, what did he stick? What was he really like? And oddly, it was Judy Garland.
Oh.
Yeah. And I watched a lot of Judy Garland videos. And just kind of thought like that energy, that type of need to communicate, that type of internal turmoil in life, you know, but also trying to get it done, you know, being a showman, you know, I love Judy Garland. That was the energy, and ultimately, like, play the objective, you know, sorry, boring acting stuff, you know, but like, you know, play hard, you know, it's gonna be a fun time. I'm coming out for the first time and like swing for the fences, so that's where I was at.
Well, you swung hard, my friend, and you absolutely smashed it. I thought you were great. What was it like working with Owen Wilson? What was it like?
It was such a pleasure. He's such a brilliant man of such experience and taste, and I can't imagine anyone else in that role. He was very curious and attentive initially, and then extremely playful. I think once he locked into who Mobius was, I think he had a really good time, you know, and we loved sitting across from each other and playing these long scenes, and you know, kind of like a tennis match. And it was just a pleasure from start to finish. Every day it just kept getting richer and richer and better and better. And he's so inventive in the moment and so responsive and so imaginative. And it ended up being a long process because the filming was interrupted by the pandemic. So it was you know, he was very much a fellow by the end.
Good. So this first, you have a lot of scenes together, obviously, so many scenes, really fun scenes, really challenging scenes. Were there any particular, as an actor, Sophia, that you found quite challenging and you really had to dig into? I'm interested because there's quite intense emotional moments as well.
Yeah, the scene on Lamentis, you know, where Sylvie's talking about home, and she's starting to realise that they might not be able to get off Lamentis. That was pretty challenging.
Yeah.
It was a heavily emotional scene, but it was also really cold. I think it was snowing. It was freezing, and so my teeth were sort of chattering, and you're trying to do this emotional scene at the same time as being freezing at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I guess that was really challenging. Again though, nice to have a decent scene partner.
It helps to have a buddy on set as well.
Easier.
Jonathan, when we finally see you, it's quite a big reveal at the end, and we all go, oh right, okay, this is what's happening. How does it feel having to keep that secret? Do you have to keep it secret from your friends and family now that you're in that MCU? Was it hard to keep those secrets?
I was so happy because I really like to, mind my business. And so here I was with this bombshell, and it was so, it wasn't that difficult, but there was moments where I talked to a buddy, he'd say, hey man, are you watching this Loki thing? Have you heard about this? I go, oh yeah. Or I'm at the gym and guys go, I hear guys at the coffee shop talking about, yeah, and I go, yeah, I heard of it. Yeah, look, yeah, I'll watch it. I'm looking forward to it. But no, it was a secret, you know, and it was, for me, I kind of felt like, okay, I'm in the club, you know, I get to hold this secret and like build it out, you know, and again, just make it the best surprise ever, because like that's the other way I looked at it. The more I can hold this secret, the bigger the surprise will be, you know, and the more I cultivate this secret, the clearer the surprise will be, you know. So I had a good time, just kind of like
Clinch.
but hold on to the baby.
Yeah, yes, when the baby stays in its home, staying home baby.
It was such a team effort, though. I mean, because everybody felt like they were the keeper of this.
Yeah.
You know, Gugu and Bata-Raw and Wumi Masaku, who also, we all knew everything all the time, and Richard E. Grant and Diobe, Oprah, all the people involved. It was an extraordinary, because I think there's more pleasure in the surprise, I think. So yeah, I'm really pleased, like, that everybody managed to.
Everyone's unclenched. So everybody has finally unclenched themselves, Sophia, I was reading in an interview that in the early days of your career, you suffered from imposter syndrome sometimes, now and again. Something I often feel, and I think many people feel. Do you still feel like that even now, or have you got over?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I think maybe now it's more sort of nerves and excitement, like what am I doing?
Yes.
But also, you know, the day that goes away maybe is the time to stop, because it adds some kind of energy and it makes me very grateful for my job. So it's not always a bad thing.
No, I don't think so. What about you, Tom? Do you still suffer from imposter syndrome a little?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Sophia's right. The nerves or the excitement is part of the thing that's necessary to get you up to where you need to be, I think, because it's very special what we get to do, and I've always been aware of that and always been so grateful that I have the chance to do it. And it is exciting when you find yourself on a set with extremely talented people and lots of other people behind the camera, and everyone's ready and everyone's prepared, and this moment is the moment. And you know, you might be just 30, 40, 50 of you in a studio. You think, we're never coming back here after today, and you get excited and nervous, and there's adrenaline, and that is why we do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, has anyone here ever suffered from imposter syndrome? Yeah. Oh, it's every day. Thank you for the advice. Thanks, Jonathan. I always like to ask people those kind of questions because I feel there's such, to kind of remove the barrier, because we're all human beings at the end of the day, just getting on, trying to live our lives. It's just that we all do slightly different things. So, good.